to the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey's 2026 Love Impact Awards. We are Mark Shapiro and Caroline Austin, this year's Loved Impact co-chairs. It's such an honor to be here with you this evening. We are proud to be gathered together to celebrate the legacy of Don Love for his extraordinary contributions to our South Jersey community. You'll learn more about Don in just a bit. Perhaps you knew Don well and were lucky enough to call him a friend or a mentor. Or maybe you did not have the pleasure of knowing or meeting him, but his name is significant. Either way, you will clearly understand the impact he made and why this special evening is named in his honor. Thank you to Jodi Love and the entire Love family for your support of the Love Impact Awards and the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey. And for allowing us to have this unique and special evening to honor Don.
Our Love Impact Award honorees are directly linked to one of Federation's 5 areas of impact, which together make meaningful impacts in our local community as well as overseas, reaching all ages and supporting diverse needs and interests. Older adults, special needs, global connections, community engagement and family and youth. New this year, we've added the Love Legacy Award to celebrate legacy giving, which is essential for sustaining the programs and services across the areas of impact. We are thrilled to celebrate these 7 distinguished members of our community for their volunteerism, whom you'll hear more about later in our program. Jodi and Neil Levine, Love Legacy honorees. Alison Platt-Tarnopol, Older Adults honoree. Susan J. Levine, Disability Services honoree. Jason Wolf, Global Connections honoree. Susan Dermer, Community Engagement honoree. And Adrienne Rosenthal, Family and Youth honoree. Mazel tov to all of you. We are so excited for you to learn about each of them later in our program.
We'd like to acknowledge our esteemed guests this evening. Please hold your applause until the end. Representing the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey and our family of agencies, Jennifer Dubrow Weiss, Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey, CEO, and Ivy Brown Rovner, President. Nancy Pearl, President, Catch JCC. Sabrina Spector, Jewish Community Relations Council, Executive Director. And Alan Moldoff, JCRC President. Jill Hamill, JFCS Assistant Executive Director. Melanie Stupler, Jewish Federation, Jewish Family and Children's Service Assistant Executive Director. And Margot Orlin, JFCS President. Rob Kiwi, Executive Director, Jewish Community Properties. Bud Monahan, JFed Security Executive Director. And Neil Levin, Committee Chair. David Snyder, Jewish Community Foundation Executive Director. And Andy Levin, JCF President. David Thompson, Jewish Senior Housing and Healthcare Service CEO. And J.D. Abrams, President. Rachel Zivick, Kelman Brown Academy Head of School. And Jane Lindeman, President. Sarah Seidman, Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey Assistant Director and musical guest. Vicki Zell, Raymond and Gertrude R. Saltzman Foundation Executive Director.
Representing our community clergy, Rabbi David Englander, Congregation Bethel, and Rabbi Aaron Krupnick, Congregation Bethel. Rabbi Micah Peltz, Temple Beth Shalom. Rabbi Brian Wexler, Temple Beth Shalom. Cantor Jen Cohen, Temple Beth Shalom. And representing our township government, Jason Ravitz, Deputy Mayor, Voorhees Township. Harry Platt, Committeeman, Voorhees Township. And Dave Fleischer, Mayor, Cherry Hill Township. Thanks to all of you for your support. It is now our pleasure to invite Sarah Seidman, Jewish Federation Assistant Executive Director, and Sabrina Spector, JCRC Executive Director, to lead us in Hatikva and the Star Spangled Banner, which will be followed by welcoming remarks from Jewish Federation CEO, Jennifer Dubrow-Weiss.
If you're comfortable, please rise. And make sure to join in with us, please. Loudly. Kolot balevav penima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ufatem Mizrach kadima, ayin lezion Sophia, od lo avda tikvatenu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liyotam choshi be'artzenu, eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, liyotam choshi be'artzenu, eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Federation's third biennial Love Impact Awards. My name is Jennifer Dubrow-Weiss, and I am the very proud, thank you, CEO of the Jewish Federation. It is an absolute honor to be here with all of you to celebrate a very special cohort of our community leaders. This program is named for a one-of-a-kind, beloved individual of our community, Don Love, of blessed memory. Don was the most incredible human, a true community leader, a champion for the Federation and its mission to serve the Jewish community of Southern New Jersey. You will learn more about Don in our video presentation in just a few moments. A huge mazel tov to this year's Love Impact Award honorees, Jodi, Neil, Alison, Susan, Jason, Susan, and Adrienne. You have all made such unique and meaningful contributions to our Federation system. We are incredibly grateful and so proud of all of your achievements. This community is strong and thriving because of leaders like you. We are a vibrant Jewish community thanks to you, your hard work, and your passion. A huge thank you to Iris Snyder, Sarah Zalkman, Melissa Leibowitz, Ronit Boyd, and the extended JFed development and marketing teams for their dedication and passion to ensure this event is a success. I'd like to give a big thank you and shout out to Anna Waxpress and Abby Tanner, our incredible, where are they? Wave. Our incredible JFed video production team for creating all of the videos that you will see during tonight's presentation. I'd also like to say a very special thank you to our friends at Congregation Bethel for hosting us tonight. We had such an incredible, overwhelming response to this event that we needed a bigger space, and we are so thankful that Bethel has welcomed us with open arms. It is now my pleasure to invite Rabbi Englander, Senior Rabbi of Congregation Bethel, to the podium to deliver tonight's Devar Torah.
Another hand for our extraordinary CEO, Jim Weiss. Erev Tov, good evening, everybody. It is indeed a great honor to share a few words tonight here at Bethel, the home of Don Love, Zichrono Livracha, of our dear friend and inspiration, Jodi Love, of honorees Jason Wolf and Alison Platt-Tarnopol, and event co-chair Caroline Austin. Mazel tov to all of the truly deserving honorees, and thank you to everyone who made this incredibly important evening happen. And yes, thank you for making it a home game for me. But probably the last thing that you expected to hear from me in a Devar Torah tonight is a reference to measuring cups. But the Talmud in Tractate Menachot actually has a discussion about exactly that. The Torah, as you probably know, gives precise measurements for offerings in the temple, and the rabbis ask a very practical question. How exactly did the priests measure out just the right amount? Channeling a quick reference to our own kitchen utensils, was it one vessel with different markings, which we call a measuring cup, or was it separate cups for each required amount? Having not seen the temple because it had not stood for hundreds of years, and there being no accurate record of it, the rabbis do not fully resolve this question. What stays with me is the larger question underneath it. How do we measure what matters? How do we measure success? It's not just a question for each of us personally. It is a communal one. How do we measure our success as a Jewish community? Now, everybody in this room understands that funding is one metric of success and that it matters a great deal. Communities do not run on goodwill alone. They run on resources, generosity, planning, and real commitment to carefully established priorities. To meet these vast needs, financial support is essential. But we also know that money alone is not the full measure of a community's success. A community also has to ask, how do we care for the most vulnerable? How do we make Jewish life more reachable, more meaningful, more welcoming? How do we help people feel that they truly have a place in the Jewish story? And in a week leading to Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut, how do we sustain our bond with Israel with love, dedication, and, when called for, appropriately expressed concern? Those are deeper measures of success, and our community again and again has risen to the occasion and offered thoughtful, tangible, and constructive answers to these questions. I am so proud to be a part of it and to witness what remarkable leadership and dedication can make possible on behalf of all of us. And there is just one more measure. A community can measure itself by the people it lifts up and honors. It can look at its finest members and say, this is what we value. This is what we hope to encourage others to emulate. This is what commitment, generosity, and leadership look like. Though I did not have the honor of meeting him, I know well that this is certainly what Don Love represented, and that is what is reflected in this evening's honorees and in the Love Impact Awards themselves. So maybe the old rabbinic question about measurement still has something to teach us after all. We still have to decide what counts. We still have to ask what kind of community we want to be. Tonight, one answer is right in front of us in these incredible honorees and in the gathered representatives of this wonderful Jewish community, made stronger by all of you. May we continue to grow together. Please direct your attention to the screens for a very special presentation.
In each generation, there are those special few who make a difference. Don Love was truly one of those special few.
Don held the highest standards for himself and for those who worked with him. And at the same time, he was able to treat each person around him as an individual.
When he spoke, the room would be silent because you just knew that it was worth listening.
His way of thinking and teaching us to think outside the box kept us all on our toes, and it kept us strategic in moving forward.
I watched with great admiration and in awe his extraordinary contributions to the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey. He had foresight and vision as a vigorous advocate for the establishment of endowments to supplement and secure current communal needs, as well as the needs of future generations.
Don was way ahead of the rest of us when he and Jen understood the need for new revenue streams to replace the standard fundraising model for the Jewish organizations in our community.
Jen at the time was the exec at JFCS, and she knew that they were doing home care, but she knew that they were also contracting out a lot of home care. You put those minds together, and Olive Home Care was born.
It was the first time our federation branched into a market rate program that allowed us to make money and then subsidize people with those same dollars.
Through Olive, we've been able to allocate significant funds at the end of every year to provide services for the entire system for our areas of impact, as well as for various services and programs that maybe otherwise wouldn't be able to sustain themselves.
And that was his goal, that we should be sustainable, that we should grow our endowments, that we should have business models that make sense for this community.
None of what he did was ever self-serving. It was 100% for the community, for the betterment of the individuals in the community.
To honor people through our areas of impact in his name and in his memory continues the legacy of people who are making a difference, people who are mission-focused, people who really want the best for a thriving Jewish community.
Don Love was a person of principle, of impeccable integrity, and the highest ethical and moral standards. He was learned and wise. He was always mindful of and sensitive to the concerns of others. These qualities, attributes, and values, which permeated Don's very being, enabled him to prosper in business as a communal leader and to meet and resolve the challenges of life.
There was only one Don, and what is truly remarkable is that so many of us felt that way.
Don Love made an impact on our entire community. We are so grateful for everything he did for us and what his legacy continues to give us today.
Thank you, Jen, for your lovely words, and Rabbi Englander for the Devar Torah. We hope you all enjoyed the touching tribute video to Don. Let's keep the energy going and celebrate our honorees. Something special about Don that lives on so strongly is his passion for art, particularly painting. You may or may not know that Don, while incredibly dedicated to his volunteerism, was a non-negotiable about one thing: Thursday evenings. No meetings. Why? Because Thursday nights were a sacred time for Don, reserved for his painting class. Don's passion is felt in every brushstroke of each piece. To continue to keep his love for art alive, we are pleased to provide each of this year's honorees with a special piece of Don's work, which Jodi has selected. We hope you each treasure it and find a place to hang it in your home, one that you'll see often and fill you with pride for this achievement and with inspiration.
Jodi and Neil Levine have been leaving an indelible mark on our community, both individually and as a couple. Many of us throw around the word legacy too flippantly. But when you listen to Jodi and Neil articulate why they have done and continue to do so many amazing things in our community, you will feel how deeply they respect the value of the word. Their commitment to the Jewish community is a shining example of how to make it a better place. This is Jodi and Neil Levine.
My name is Neil Levine.
And I'm Jodi Levine. And we are the recipient of the 2026 Love Legacy Award. Our involvement in this community goes back a long way. We started at the JCC. You started on the board, correct?
I did. We were one of the first people to give a building fund to the JCC building before they started breaking ground.
I serve currently on the JCF board, and I also run the Life and Legacy committee there. That board actually got me to understand how things work at the Federation level and how impactful giving can actually be at that level.
I think it's so important when you are fortunate that we try to give back as much as we can to this community, which we love.
Neil and I are Life and Legacy members. In our will, we have established a legacy for this community in certain areas that have impacted us. We also have started a PJ Library Endowment Fund. How that whole thing happened was because of our grandson, Lucas. My daughter-in-law was reading to him this Happy Happy book, and he just would laugh and smile reading it. And I took a look at the book and I saw PJ Library at the bottom. I found out more about PJ Library through one of the staff members at Federation. And I asked, how can we get more involved?
We'd like the Jewish community to flourish for the next how many years that we're not here. We know what's going on in the world, and we think it's our duty to give others the same chance that we were afforded by people who came before us.
And so we started a PJ Library Endowment Fund. Federation's great at this. If you have a passion and you need some guidance as to how to keep that passion going, make an appointment with any of the development people at Federation. Say, here's my passion. How can I make sure that this program that you have, how can I make sure that that is still here? And that really is how I define legacy. And so we hope that we can help others think outside the box. And for me, that was Don's legacy. Because Don was such an inspiration, a mentor, a thinker outside the box, and to receive the Don Love Legacy Award is just, for us, incredible.
What we're trying to do is pave the way for people to be mentored and learn how to do the same things that we have learned. So I want this community to prosper, to grow, just like we've seen it grow since we've been here for the last 30 years.
you don't speak.
So I'm very happy to be.
Off my stage. Our next honoree, Alison Platt-Tarnopol. Alison's video made me feel so thankful that she is part of our community. Alison has been a lifelong driver of our community support for Jewish older adults. I would bet that everyone with a Jewish senior in our community has felt Alison's positive impact, knowingly or unknowingly. I want to thank Alison for her time, her energy, her love for seniors, because my parents are benefiting from her commitment to this population. And as I get closer to being part of this population, I'm going to thank you in advance. I admire Alison for her passion for supporting seniors. This is Alison Platt-Tarnopol.
My name is Alison Platt-Tarnopol, and I am the Older Adults Love Impact Award recipient for 2026. The most significant and important person in my life growing up was my grandmother. We had a very, very close relationship. I used to spend a lot of time with my grandmother at her apartment, which was a building that had a lot of seniors in it. So I used to hang out a lot with a lot of the ladies with her. And I loved hearing their stories. I loved hearing their experiences. And that blossomed into my love for seniors. I began my career as a physical therapist. And I knew right away that I wanted to work with the geriatric population. And so for 30 years, I worked in geriatrics. I landed my dream job at the Jewish Geriatric Home. I became involved in the Jewish Senior Housing Associates, which was the volunteer arm for Dubin House, Gesher House, and Saltzman House. And it just took off from there for me. I actually became president of the Associates, and then we decided to merge the Auxiliary and the Associates when Lionsgate was built a few years later, and I stayed involved with the Friends of Senior Housing. We've done a lot of great things. I was able to be one of the first co-chairs of the Susan Love Family Golf Classic. From there, I had a seat on the Federation board, and I got more involved. I wound up joining the Jewish Senior Housing Board, and then their executive committee, and finally president. And it is my first love and my passion. My work with older adults was initially inspired by my grandmother, but continues because of my parents. When they needed Lionsgate, it was there, and the care that they received was exceptional. And I want everyone in the community not only to know about it, but if they have to experience it, to know that it's there for them. I truly believe that we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. In my day growing up, the leaders in this community, Don Love, Bernie Platt, and of course, the Jodis, Jodi Love and Judy Platt, had a tremendous impact in this community. I was really privileged to be able to see them in action. This award in representing Don Love's legacy in our community is especially important to me because a lot of my journey was with his daughter, Susan Love. I worked with her at Jewish Geriatric Home. I was president when she was CEO of Lionsgate, and she was a wonderful friend and mentor to me. As a lifelong member of this community, I've made caring for our older adults my life's work. It is my hope that my daughters, Amanda and Lauren, saw me volunteering in this way, and that they'll take care of me in the same way as I aged.
Susan J. Levine leads with quiet wisdom, seeing the broad picture and simplifying it into actionable steps to improve our Jewish community. I experienced Susan's expertise in market research firsthand playing a part in the 2013 J-pop study. Susan later volunteered to help with follow-up to that study with our community tracker efforts, which continue today. Susan and I served on the JFCS board together, addressing disability services. I know how worthy she is. Susan's contributions, both professionally and as a lay leader, have been invaluable. This is Susan J. Levine.
My name is Susan Levine, and I am the Disability Services Love Impact Award recipient for 2026. Don Love was really an icon in this community and a role model. I mean, for me to be mentioned even in the same breath with him is just really inspiring and humbling. Disability services became important to me really because of my daughter. She had some challenges, and I really just wanted her to be able to live her best life. And I thought, you know, there are roadblocks, they need to be removed. Well, why don't I try to remove them? I've been really lucky that I've had opportunities to serve the community both professionally and personally. I was a market researcher, and I actually did 2 big studies for the community. One was the 2013 J-pop community study, and the goal of that was really to explore this Jewish community and see how it had changed over the years and what were the needs of the community and what people were interested in, what they had and what was missing. And from that, we got tons of data, and I think it really helped set the course for JFED in terms of kind of its next chapter. Long before that, I did a study for the Saltzman Board. They were interested in finding out more about the need for disability services in the community. What we found in that study was that people thought this community was for the healthy, wealthy, and able, and the leadership at Saltzman was just determined to change that. And when you see what's happened in the intervening years, I mean, this is a community that people move to because there's so much here for people with disabilities, whether it's through JFED, JCC, JFCS, day schools. I mean, there's just a lot going on in this community, and it was really rewarding to be a part of that. The other accomplishment that I'm proud of is really my involvement with the board at Kelman Brown Academy. I had done research in a lot of other Jewish communities, and I knew that without a strong day school, communities just wither. Jewish communities just kind of fall on the vine, and I was determined to the extent that I could to really make sure that that didn't happen. I really hope that we continue to evolve. I mean, I've stayed involved because you can see that here in this community, things can change. And to see how people thrive because of the changes and the actions you've taken, it's a really nice thing to see. So it just kind of keeps you in there.
Jason Wolf likes to say, work hard, play hard, and live your dash. Look it up. He lives life fully, showing up strong day in and day out. He's either all in or all out, and you'll know where he stands. Just over 20 years ago, I was told by a few different people, there's this up-and-coming real estate broker. You need to meet him. I did, and I can say that I am very proud of my friend for fulfilling all of his promise, professionally and civically, and then some. His contributions to our Jewish community, individually and through his company and its foundation, are immeasurable. Jason is all in for Israel, and we appreciate him connecting so many members of our community in a deeper, more meaningful way to Israel. This is Jason Wolf.
My name is Jason Wolf, and I am the recipient of the Global Connections Love Impact Award for 2026. My wife Leah and I moved here about 23 years ago. We knew nobody. So for us, the best way to get involved living in Cherry Hill in a Jewish community was joining the JCC. So we joined the JCC and immediately got involved with sports, health and wellness. I joined the board. I coached through Maccabi, and then I got recruited to serve on the board of JFCS. There's people within the Federation system that have been mentors of mine. I mean, when I think of Don, every time I met him, he is a mentor, he is an ambassador, he is what you want every person to be in our community. So if you were to ask me why Israel or why Global Connections 15 years ago, I would not have an answer for you. I went to Israel in 2011, it was my first trip to Israel. I went there totally naive, full of anxiety. And I was also at a tipping point, turning point in my life and my career. And Israel was a tipping point for me. It was the people, it was the love of their country, it was the beauty, it was spending a lot of time with the soldiers, watching the love and how they carry the love of their country on their shoulders every day. After I came back on my first trip, it was my own personal mission to be a better person, a better human being, give back more tzedakah, more caring within our community. My initial reaction to October 7th was just like everybody else. I mean, gutted, felt hollow, felt like I wanted to be there in some level of support. At some point, I had a vision. I wanted to plan a trip to go to Israel with a group of men in our community. I knew if these men went the way I saw Israel the first several times, they were going to come back empowered. And I had the support of Federation to do it. I felt like I was like creating a movie because I'm like, I got him, he's hooked. They started to see it. We would go around the room and just talk about how we're feeling. There was a lot of crying. I'm crying now thinking about it. There was a lot of crying that went on, and we were successful in donating to 5-6 different places. The health center, we gave back to volunteer farmers, we gave back to arts and craft facilities. In life, the more you give, the more you get, and it's not a financial meaning. I think it's more about this, the heart. Being able to educate people about Israel and identifying that they are Jewish, and being Jewish doesn't mean you have to be religious or speak Hebrew perfectly. It means you have to have a soul, and you have to give back, and you have to know that, we have a purpose while we're on this earth, and to be the best person you can. And Israel did that for me, and I hope I can continue doing that for others.
I feel lucky that our community has someone like Susan Dermer, who recognized the void in our public schools' experiences with addressing anti-Semitism, and who took appropriate and targeted action to address it. I really admire Susan for her follow-through, specifically acting on this community need rather than just thinking or talking about it. Over and over again, Susan has chosen to be the change, and she models what working to see change happen can look like for others. This is Susan Dermer.
My name is Susan Dermer, and I'm the Community Engagement Love Impact Award recipient for 2026. I served 3 years as PTA president at the Beck Middle School in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I also chaired in several school committees within the school district. October 7th was a wake-up call for many of us. I was devastated by the tragedy unfolding in Israel. But what really shocked me was the anti-Semitism that erupted in our own communities. I became even more concerned when I began to witness how this was affecting our local schools. Many school leaders were caught off guard by this newer form of anti-Semitism. It wasn't something most of them were even familiar with, so responding to these challenges became very difficult. Because of my involvement with both my children's school district and the Jewish community, I felt a responsibility to help connect those conversations. I now have the privilege to serve as the Vice President of the Jewish Community Relations Council, where I co-chair the K-12 Task Force. A big part of our work is collaborating with school leaders and administrators around Jewish identity and addressing anti-Semitism in their schools. As a result of the close relationships we've built with school leaders, we've been able to make real progress. We updated the Holocaust curriculum at the high school level. We partnered with Cherry Hill Schools and the Cherry Hill Library to recognize Jewish American Heritage Month. We even included an essay and a poster contest for students grade K through 12. Beyond the local level, JCRC is also advocating at the state level for policies that protect Jewish students, whether that's making sure Jewish history is included in the curriculum or addressing modern forms of anti-Semitism in schools. The best part of my work is supporting parents, seeing them become more engaged in education and grow into strong advocates for their children. My greatest inspiration is my children, my 2 daughters, Emma and Eden, and my son, Liam. That's really what drives me, wanting them to grow up in a safer world and helping make it better for them and future generations. My hope is that we continue strengthening unity within our Jewish community because we're stronger when we stand together and support one another. I am truly honored to receive an award in Don Love's name. His legacy of service and commitment to the community continues to inspire me.
Our next honoree, Adrienne Rosenthal. I am struck by how Adrienne turned 2 significantly negative events, October 7th and the loss of a close friend, into something profoundly positive and created long-lasting healthy habits. Adrienne's decision to spend her time cooking nutritious lunches for our Kelman Brown Academy students was a selfless act. While Adrienne surely did not expect anything in return, she undoubtedly became a role model for all of our KBA students for healthy eating and its positive impact on our minds and bodies. Through this work, she is nourishing minds and hearts. This is Adrienne Rosenthal.
My name is Adrienne Rosenthal, and I am the 2026 recipient for the Family and Youth Love Impact Award. After October 7th, we all experienced it on such a deeply personal level, and the question was, how does this become a call to action? How do we improve our community? About a month passed by, and I experienced the unexpected loss of a local dear friend of mine, Josh Katz. I went to his funeral, and one of the things that people spoke about was how he used to be the lunch lady at his kids' private Jewish day school. He would just show up and start cooking for the kids. And it moved me on a deeply profound level at a time when I was myself in need for a Jewish community and healing. And after being at Kelman myself and then sending my kids to Kelman, I realized that the school was in need of improving their healthy foods and lunch program. I dove right in that December and decided to cook a lentils and rice meal for the whole school. And so we had this amazing beta test of a meal that contained protein and fiber and whole foods for the whole school under $150. So I took it to Rachel Zivick, and she was really excited about it. I wanted to expand it into a healthy lunch program. And with her support and the support of Kelman and volunteers, we were able to roll out a 5-day healthy hot lunch program for the kids. These little groups started forming in the Kelman kitchen that were really special and that really promoted community. What was so rewarding was that the teachers would come up to the volunteers and say, I notice a difference between the kids who eat the hot lunch and the kids who are eating more processed foods. And the kids who are eating these lunches have sustained energy, sustained attention. As a medical doctor myself, I feel like we are given so many choices, especially in the year 2026, where we're inundated with so many processed foods. I think what this Healthy Hot Lunch program has proven to all of us, and especially our kids, is that we can do this. We can really put together a satisfying meal and just avoid all the processed garbage that we choose not to eat every day. So my hope is that that continues to grow and empower students, not just in the Kelman Brown Academy setting, but also as they graduate to high school and become young adults so that they can continue to make healthy choices for themselves. I didn't know Don myself, but over the last several weeks since I've received this award, I've heard about how he made such an impact on the community, and I feel very proud to honor his legacy, and also the legacy of my dear friend, Josh Katz.
Let's give another round of applause for all of our honorees. What an amazing last video to round out our honoree tributes. We hope you are as touched as I know we were by these moving videos. The Love Impact Awards are all about celebrating those who turn love into action. We thank you for showing up, for leading with heart, and for making an impact. Thank you all. To close out our evening, please welcome Ivy Brown Rovner, President of Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey.
Hi everyone, I'm Ivy Brown Rovner. What a beautiful night. Mark and Caroline, Toda Rabbah. On behalf of everyone at Federation, thank you for your time and dedication as co-chairs of this year's Love Impact Awards. Like our honorees, you are incredible community leaders, and we are always so grateful when you say yes. Mazel tov again to all of our honorees, Jodi and Neil, Alison, Susan, Jason, Susan, and Adrienne. Each of you is a shining example of what it means to be a leader in this great community. To have a special piece within the community about which you are so deeply and passionately connected is such a gift. It's a gift to your loved ones, to your friends, and to our entire community. Each of you leads with action, but more importantly, you lead with your hearts in ways that inspire others to step up. You set the bar high and continue to push it higher and higher. I have no doubt that there are people in this room who are now inspired to say, Hineni, here I am, to volunteer, to chair an event, join a program like our Federation Leadership Institute, or create a lasting legacy through an endowment. Your leadership has helped set the path to a bright future here in South Jersey. We're going to keep spreading the love well beyond tonight's event. The proceeds raised from this year's Love Impact Awards will benefit each of our Federation areas of impact to ensure that the important work continues. In addition to all of the well-deserved love and praise that has been showered upon you tonight, each of you will also receive a ceremonial resolution from the New Jersey Legislature, signed by the Senate President and Assembly Speaker, in recognition of your unique commitments to our community and your vast accomplishments. And you can get those from Federation staff afterwards. They're under here. Thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. On your way out, please be sure to grab a swag bag as a gift from us, which includes a special treat, one of Don's favorites, for you to enjoy. So with that, have a wonderful evening and good night.